Sir, I protest. I am not a merry man.
You're listening to Comics Podcasting on the edge of civility.
Whatever you were about to say that shit.
Would you have
We are not, save that shit. I gotta say who he is.
Oh, okay.
I have now hit record, and we are now officially working on episode 190 of The Mean Geek.
190. It's a milestone. No, it's totally not a milestone.
Not just yet, it isn't. No, I mean, we're so close to having 200. Somewhere in February we'll have 200. And so we'll give away some shit. Maybe we'll try to Skype somebody again.
We should do something. We may have to buy each other presents or something. Like, we should really celebrate
I ain't
it
buying
somehow.
you any more shit. I just got you one of the most amazingly appropriate t-shirts ever.
Did you open yours yet?
I did not, because I thought I remembered what it was, but clearly didn't. So why don't we see what T Fury has for each of us today?
Well, you got me, and this is not current.
This is totally not working.
Need a knife? No.
Yeah.
Mixture of...
I didn't say it was current. I said
No.
it was-
I'm just saying it's off of their
Oh,
classic
yes, that's correct. Yeah, go on.
You got me a mashup of Joker and Penguin and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Welcome to Bat Country.
We can't stop here. It's Bat Country.
So that is pretty damn funny.
And I got an awesomely cool Millennium Falcon t-shirt. Says, never tell me the odds. YT 1300, fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy.
That is a sweet looking shirt, though.
It's an amazing shirt, and I love it dearly.
Well, the nice thing about that, and I've noticed your
I may
shirt.
swap it out for my Erebor Stout
I love
right
that
now.
one. But those two are the same kind of thing. Like, that one's obviously nerdy, but it's also, you've been veering more towards the subtle nerd shirts as opposed to the in-your-face, huge Batman, Spider-Man.
Well, because they're more fun, really.
Right, but it's also, like, it's one thing to
Because
wear
I
your
would
heart
drink
on
the
your sleeve.
shit out of some Erebor Stout.
But yeah, I've noticed in Evolution, you're going for, like, the less obvious nerd shirts. They're still clearly not,
Well, it's a trend that they're becoming more available now.
That's true.
It used to be you got a t-shirt
Batman logo.
that had a Batman logo on it, that had a Flash logo, that had a Superman logo.
Actually, you couldn't even find a Flash one for years.
Yeah.
Like, really, you could get Batman, Superman, that Lee-Feld picture of Wolverine jumping with the claws out,
Yeah.
or the Punisher. Like, those were your and Spider-Man was on a ton of shit.
Yeah.
But that was about it. But, like,
But
finding
and
a
then-
Green Arrow shirt,
And then they put panels on them, and then they put covers on them.
you've never
And
bought
then-
a panel shirt. I've
No,
never seen you
no,
once with...
I don't want a panel shirt.
Some of the cover ones I could see you in.
A couple of them, yeah.
Like a Hulk
but I
one
got
or something.
60 fucking t-shirts, so I have to be careful, and they have to really pop, So something that's clever and appropriate and fitting to my personality.
Yeah, T Fury just did 2 Star Trek ones, actually.
Yeah, I know.
But I almost texted you, but I was looking at him like, he's not going to buy either of these. First off, they were both from the new movies. I don't know if you caught that, but like Scotty had red hair in the cooler one, which was the images of all of them, and her skirt was very much from the new movie. And I just don't see you in a Star Trek new movie t-shirt.
No, not really. I mean, I do enjoy the new films.
Oh, absolutely. Well, particularly the first one.
But for sheer fun and tied into my psychiness.
Yeah. Psychiness? Psychiness?
Whatever, come on. It's definitely toss. Especially that one with the skull that says 1701 and it's got the command logo as the empty nose hole.
That was nice.
And it's red.
That is a nice one.
And you know what Dalton wanted? I asked him, I was desperate to find out what he wanted for Christmas. Right? And he's like, well, you can get me some planters for the new house. I'm like, I'm not buying you fucking planters, dude.
Dude, no. I'm not your aunt.
And then he says, oh. And this is the text. It said, oh. Those retro Star Trek posters.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I got him a set of those. I got him the one with Mirror Mirror in it, and a couple of others, because I wasn't giving him the ones I got.
Oh, you did get some.
I did get
you
some.
You never told me
they
that.
They were on clearance at Entertainment Earth. So
you didn't tell me that. I would have considered getting one of those at that point. I would probably.
Well, they only come in sets of 4, so.
We should have done. We should have gotten them all and like divvied them up between. You could have sent some this way. You could have picked and chosen.
Well, somebody gets boned on those because in every single set there's one that's like bleh.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that goes to your nephew.
So you get these really super cool one. You get this. Hey, look at that one. So you get a. Well, that's clever, I guess. And then you finally get the. Bleh.
You made a poster for that episode?
So
I don't even watch that episode.
So somebody always is going to end up with a bleh. And, you know, depending on how giving the other person is, somebody may end up with a ew and a bleh.
That's nice. So that's a good Mikey gift. I got a couple books I got to read for him. And then I'm going to throw him that Power Man graphic I bought because I'm never reading that thing. Like, I like picking up the issues. They're fun and all, but...
Graphic or the
Remember
Essentials?
That? Yeah. Like, I bought it down in Florida. It was like $16, but like really, like it was a one-time read. You know, if I can find an issue that's kind of funny, but he's going to get a bigger kick.
It's 1:15 in the afternoon, and I'm already finished with this beer.
Who are you?
It's an exciting day because we visited 2 separate comic shops.
We visited
that
one
each
and a half.
of us had not seen before. Or no, you hadn't
I'd
seen Omni
either.
either, but you discovered Omni first.
Right.
And let me tell you about Omni Comics and Cards, kid. They don't like fucking comic books. They do not enjoy comic books. They may have at one point, but it is the most, even, and sorry, Kurt, but even Kurt's was more organized than this.
Yeah, you know,
I have not seen a comic shop that much in disarray in decades.
It was not a comic shop. What they are into investing is my take on it. Like they had 3 computers with different eBay sites on. Everything gets sold for value and whatnot, and like that was just the excess. If they haven't sold it online yet, it was sitting there. Like the runs were confusing, the piles were confusing, the dollar box was confusing. Like I found 2 things in the dollar box. I'm going through, and there were a couple of fanboys. I'm like, I really just don't want to give these people my money. Like I just no.
There were literally disarrayed piles of things on shelves.
Yeah.
Of relatively new books. I mean, just piles falling over. It was frightening, and I'm like...
And you couldn't walk. It was literally deadly in there.
Yes.
But they're Lego. They had boxes of Lego toys.
Yeah,
open, like
giant Tupperware containers, huge Rubbermaids, filled with just, this is an orange part box.
Yeah.
This
No,
is a
very,
light gray
very
part
strange.
box.
But you picked up a couple books that we'll end up talking about later because you bought them to pad the giant ass podcast that we already have.
That I left in the car.
But you did get a kind of neat graphic.
Yes, it's the all Christmas issue graphic from 2004 from Marvel. It was pretty cool. I've got this idea in the back of my head that I'm going to go for Christmas stories as my next esoteric collection.
Well, you know what? I'm actually going to challenge you to that. Every show we go to hereforth, you have to find one Christmas cover book. That's a challenge. So
okay.
and I'm going to keep pushing.
I accept.
Yeah, because you wanted to do it anyway. But yeah, we're going to make it like obviously. Are you going to buy 8 Christmas covers in one time?
Well,
probably
no.
not. But
not bloody likely.
Your goal is to find at least one in every show that we hit, or shop, or wherever we go.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Shops, you'll obviously with things like the 2 shops that we hit today, you can't control whether you'll find one or not, or if the price will be worth buying it. Because I doubt it's like, well, I got to drop $8 on this Christmas cover so that I can meet Bill's challenge. No, probably not going to happen.
Maybe if I find like only 2 other books I want that day.
Even then, you're like, no, I'm saving my $8 for the next show. I'm all set with you.
Ooh, they found the severed fingers. Oh, and they stepped on the severed fingers. We're watching 100 Bloody Acres today, kids, and we cannot tell yet if it's just a comedy with weird little murder elements or a horror with comedy elements.
Yeah, so far, well, I mean, obviously we're not listening to it, so that never helps. But not much has happened thus far.
Well, he found one guy who was in an accident, and he took the guy's body to his fertilizer farm, But when he was loading them into the truck, he slammed the door to the truck and chopped off the guy's fingers. Forgot about the fingers. So goofy, frightening.
So if we went then from Omni as quick as our fat little nerd feet could carry us,
straight into Heroes and Hitters, which is a nice little shop.
Yeah,
well organized, clean, well lit.
A decent backlog of old books.
Yeah,
which
really
is harder
good.
to find in small shops.
Yes, really good Silver Age collection.
Which brings me to the question I was about to ask.
Yeah.
Is in there we found, and it was a $30 book. It's not an impulse buy book.
Yeah.
Would you pay $30 for that Batman annual we saw? Was it Batman or Detective? I want to say it was Batman, but
it was Detective.
It was Detective. Okay.
So it was a 60s era one. It was a big, big, thick one. It was 25 cents for the time, which was very expensive cover price. But it looked like it had some really interesting stories in it, and it was in pretty decent shape.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad at all. But $30? $30 would have to be, I am now completing my run of blah, blah, blah with this. I'm not buying anything else this week, and I'm kind of jonesing.
Okay, so, I mean, it's not an everyday purchase. Would it, let's say this, though, if you get, and I'm not trying to talk you into buying this thing at all, come next birthday. Because you haven't done the self-birthday present for a couple years. You didn't do anything huge for yourself like you were planning for 40.
That's right.
Does that qualify at that point if it's still there? Because the thing is...
If I could possibly remember it, yes.
Okay. Because the thing is, like, the problem with annuals in that period is probably all, if not, then guaranteed most reprints.
Yes, reprints were known to be an annual staple back then.
So, you know, but I mean, I saw Jerry Sprang Joker on the cover. You had Mad Hatter with the fucking mustache. You know, old school, awesome Batman. It's a neat little find. It's a decent price for that book compared to some of the other pricing we saw in there.
Yeah.
But I really got. You didn't buy one thing in that one. I killed in that shop.
Well, I had already been in that shop this week.
Oh, that's true. But I did pick up a DC book that we'll take a look at down the line. A stupid-ass shiny cover Sinestro that I don't understand.
What was it? It was 5, right? It was one of the ones
$3.99.
No, the number.
Oh, no, it's a one-shot. Because
the Future's End one. Yeah,
right. That's
yeah.
what we missed, which was actually... So it wasn't a miss in the sense of anything other than I like Sinestro and I want them.
Well, that was the skip month.
Exactly.
I refused to buy any DCs because I'm sick of their shit.
But I was happy to pick this up for cover price and not pay real money for it. You know, like, yeah.
Which reminds me, when you're done talking about those books, we need to hit quickly on Convergence.
Okay. But yeah, so I found a couple issues of Sleeper just for fun, and most of my stuff is dollar bins, so we'll get to that in a second. But I had a seminal comic experience today. This has never happened to me. To my knowledge, this has never happened to you.
Nope. Absolutely not.
At least not on this level. I completed 2 major runs today. One which I thought I had already completed and then found out I was missing one, which is the most irritating fucking thing on the planet. And then another. I have completed 2 things before, and I'm sure you have too, in terms of like mini-series or...
Oh, yeah.
You know,
things like
I found
that,
one
sure.
of 12 or one of 4. Like, But
meaningful, monumental things?
I have the complete Simonson Thor run and the complete Byrne Fantastic Four run.
Boom.
Epic. So, you know, in terms of that, no, I've never done anything close to that before. Like, I think I bought a major bummer that I was missing and a Elektra Assassin by Sienkiewicz at the same time. So I finished, like, you know, 12 and 15 issue runs. But that's not comparable to this.
No, it really isn't.
So huge there. But, yeah, so that was for my 2 real money purchases.
And before you say another thing, the Thor, we have to thank Longbox Graveyard for, because he was selling his shit and we got it from them.
That's true. And you cleaned up huge on that.
Big time.
I was saving that for after this, but yeah, you know, we'll totally throw that out for Longbox Graveyard. I'm sorry that your graveyard is smaller. But
Right.
So in the not even dollar box, 50-cent box, like you're not even good enough to be $1. A random Jonah Hex, which I'm always happy to find. Although I honestly believe I had that, I just couldn't take the risk, which is the saddest thing about being a nerd. It's like, dude, I lose sleep if I go home and I find out that I didn't pick something up that I did need. I mean, I hate.
That's terrible. Do you sleep over that?
No, totally. Like
I'll walk around the house grumbling and kick the cat or something, but I'm going
I'm
to
not
bed.
allowed to do that. I can't kick cats,
She
man.
ain't
Cats
here
are like
all the time.
She knows. Commodore wife knows, man. It's like she'll walk in, she'll be like, "You took a shit, and you threatened a cat." Like, what kind of nose is that? That's not normal. That's like.
And there's our title.
But yeah. So I will totally. It will bother me for long periods of time. Like not even like a day. Like.
Wow, you're even more irritating nerdy than I am.
In my own way. Very different, but yes, like completion means a lot to me. And but getting back to Dollar Finds, I found 2 issues of Sleeper, which I've never even seen.
No, Sleeper had come out and come and gone before we got back into books.
Oh, absolutely. But I've never seen like random issues either.
No, neither have I.
They're hugely popular. So 2 issues of Sleeper, nice little find. Hopefully, signing bait somewhere down the line. A random Howard Chaykin, because I just can't go into a dollar box and not take a Chaykin book home with me.
It's amazing how many Chaykins end up in a goddamn dollar box.
Well, you know what? Challengers of the Unknown, like no one read this thing. Like that. And I read one of them, I understand. A huge, literally huge selection of Doc Savage comics, a bunch of the DC ones, and then...
By which publisher?
Well, I just said the DC ones, and then 2 from Millennium Comics, which I am completely unfamiliar with.
Yeah, who even... I don't know what the hell else they published.
Which look to be awful, but
which irritates me, because now I'm going to have to look that up, because I want... If there's a publisher out there, I want to at least know what they've done. I know what Charlton done. I mean, they've been out of business for 40 fucking years. Atlas. I've got Atlas books.
Defiant.
I've got Defiant books, thanks to your dumbass.
There's actually, Chaykin did 2 issues of a Atlas book called The Scorpion, I want to say, that I do not have. I have yet to find. A little irked by that. He later would take the character when he moved on to Marvel and turn it into Dominic Fortune. So, yeah, but I believe it's the Scorpion. Yeah, so very much looking for those. But
and there's your comic book history for the episode.
The high find was 3, and they're dinged up. They're not good quality books.
Yeah, I got some water damage in there.
Yeah, but I don't care. 3,
but not extensive.
$1.50 for 3 Sergio Aragones Gru the Wanderer PC Comics era.
Pacific Comics. Who even remembers them? It was half a guess when it said PC Comics. I was like, Pacific?
Yep. I mean, Destroyer Duck was PC Comics. Star Slayer started PC Comics and then went to First.
I had totally forgotten that. Because who thinks about Star Slayer?
Me.
Well, yeah.
Well, hey, Star Slayer also had the first appearance ever of the Rocketeer in it, issues 2 and 3.
Oh.
Yeah.
And he went on to greatness.
Sort of. The Rocketeer is a very interesting, like, side
story. He got a
story
movie,
in comics.
and people do... he's getting reprints. I think he's got a current series. But people cosplay his ass. And they lovingly cosplay him.
Dude, I love the Rocketeer. I mean, obviously, it's that 40s style thing, although the movie was appalling. But yes, so 3 Grus, love that. Bitch to find. And, look at this cover for a moment, all right? This is why I love Sergio Aragones.
Gru facing away from the viewer in victory, his, foot on the neck of some...
Dead lizard monster.
Back
of cover.
The opposite. 8 million lizard bastards coming up behind him.
Complete with a reverse Aragones, a reverse Gru the Wanderer, even a reverse PC Comics logo.
It's pretty good shit.
That's awesome. You don't see shit like that anymore either. All right.
Nah, nobody ever has cleverness like that.
So
it's all marketing gimmicks on the covers now.
As if this is a huge buying day for us. This is relatively rare. But as if this was not enough, we got your order that I chipped in on, shall we say? Because the bulk of it was for you.
Oh yes, the long box graveyard stuff.
Yes. So he just out and out on Twitter was like, I'm selling stuff.
Yeah. And then he provided a link to a list of what he was doing, and I was like, scroll. Oh, really? There's some Star Wars in there. There's some detective in there. There was some Thor in there, and I thought about. Oh no, what did he rescind on?
Tomb of Dracula.
Yes,
it was too hard to find at the time.
He initially was gonna sell us some Tomb of Dracula, but then he said, nope, you know what? I'm going to keep them for a while. So we ended up splitting 13 Star Wars. We each got things we needed.
Yeah, we each got 5.
We each ended up with dupes.
Yep. So 3 duplicates that will be in a box of shite, or although we'll have to look at them.
Or an eBay auction.
We are, because there's still did you take the bag, my bag of shite out of your trunk yet?
Oh no!
We may have to pull that and look in. Obviously, most of this will still end up in shite for those of you who are looking for a shit box, which is no one ever. With my new signing theory, though, we may have to double check that box, see what we can use.
All right, it's not a bad idea. All right, then it's out in the parking lot, so we can give that a
enough.
go.
But yeah, so really well done on there. Mostly later ones with 1 or 2 earliers. We had to have a coin flip over one. But all in good fun. We both made out quite well.
It was your fucking coin, man. Don't think that passed by me.
But you did get the. And to be fair, you got it because I had it. But you got the annual, which was a nice find. That's actually. I'm a
annual
big fan
3,
of that book,
by the way. So that was pretty cool. I don't have any of the annuals.
I have all 3 of you have the far larger Star Wars collection than I do, but yes, somehow I have all 3 annuals.
Well, between there's 107. So with annuals, there's 110 issues.
Yep.
So it's easy to not cross over when you buy them haphazardly like we do.
You could argue 114 if you want to throw in the Return of the Jedi miniseries.
Yeah.
But that's like the splitting hairs that makes for good comics podcasting. Like, no, sir. 110 might be correct to your limited nerd knowledge. But for those of us who pay attention to Marvel's Star Wars collection,
I believe
you'll find. And then, of course, that you have the person who's like, well, there's actually the Star Comics fucking Droids book and Ewoks book, bitches.
And go fuck yourself.
Yeah, which I can't even. I was like, no, I mean, I blew my nerd load at fucking 114 there.
I think each of those got to about 30 issues each.
Did they really?
I have no idea.
Oh, God. That would be so depressing.
We could look it up, but we don't want to.
I bought you those on DVD and you gave them away. We didn't even watch them.
I gave them to nephews.
That hurt me. But yeah, so 5 of those. I got the 2 Thors that I needed to complete the Thor collection. So, good job, Longbox.
Boom. We love you.
LBG. Well, that means something completely different. Hopefully you knew that when you picked your name. Anyway, but the big, as happy as I am with this Star Wars, the big find was really yours with that because you guys.
Yes, I have several sequential years of early 80s detective comics.
Very nice.
I am almost completely done with that decade.
Really? So this, because all your 80s were later. Comics. Like you had more of the.
The majority of my detective in the 80s was 85 up.
All right. So
this was 82, 83, 84. There might even have been an 81 or 2 in there somewhere.
So does this move 80s detective to the top of the list now, since it's completable?
It really ought to, yeah.
You hadn't really thought that
if
far
I can
ahead.
remember to do so, yes, it totally will.
So the main thing now will be the annuals and the haphazard issues, and then you're done. Yeah. So an entire decade of detective off the table. That is pretty huge.
That's tremendous.
And I'll be honest, like I haven't read 80s detective in a while, so the 3 or 4 duplicates that are going to come my way, I'm a little excited about.
Yeah, especially since it's got one of your favorite artists ever in it, Gene Colan.
That's true. I do love me some Gene Colan.
Although, like I was saying earlier, everybody got a couple of bad panels in them.
Well, it's also inking. Gene Colan is so detailed that the inking takes a huge toll on some of those.
Oh no! If I could remember to dig this up and show you,
Like
you would know that was not an inking problem.
Tom Palmer on Gene Colan looks amazing, but not everybody can ink that, dude. Like certain guys, you like as an inker, and I spend no time in this. Spot the blacks. You gotta figure some guys you're like, fuck, man. Like if you get hired to ink Art Adams, you're like, fuck off. Dude, do you know how many damn monkey hairs he drew? Piss off with you. Or like back in the day, imagine inking Perez in the 80s.
Wow.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. Did you want me to draw everyone's fucking head? Are you serious?
What do you mean you need the eyelashes on all these assholes in the background?
You drew 32 floating heads. No one draws 32 floating heads.
It's just so dumb.
But yeah, so a pretty good day, which we're now going to ruin by going directly into the DC books.
Yeah. All right. Here's the thing, and I've said this on Twitter, and I'm going to say it here. I want to believe that Batgirl 35 is a good book. It is not, by any stretch, aimed at me. There is not anything particularly wrong with that. It just makes it very difficult for me to connect with the story because it's so filled with hip, trendy, look at me, I know young people shit.
Well,
But what actually happens in it? Let's get to that, and then we can get to impressions of it.
Okay, go for it.
What happens is Barbara moves to the hip, trendy, snarky little Burnside, which is apparently the Brooklyn of Gotham. She moves in with a couple roommates, and they start off with a big party that she almost instantly regrets. And I saw on Twitter a couple people going, you can't prove she has a hangover. And I'm like, go fuck yourself. I've had hangovers, and that's what I've said in the morning. So don't even fucking lie to me with this. She didn't necessarily have a hangover routine. Now, she begins embarking on the mystery of the troll DJ.
Yeah.
His name ain't the troll, but he is a total fucking internet troll DJ, privacy invader. I don't know what they were thinking with this.
Blackmail for fame kind of thing?
Yeah, in the middle of, he's actively soliciting privacy invasion in the middle of a rave. Speaking in hashtags. And I'm like, look, I don't care if you're 13 or 18 or 20. Nobody actually says the fucking word hashtag in front of anything they say unless they are making a joke about hashtags.
Ironically. And this whole book is about fucking hipsters, so obviously ironically.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing with a virus on a fucking... What do you call that you scan with your smartphone? Like, it's not a barcode, but a...
Oh, yeah, those things. I don't even remember.
I mean, they're all over comics now, for God's sake. It's like, scan this to find out why Kieran Gillen wrote this way. Because I felt like it.
Is pretty much it.
Really? I had to fucking do some sort of super tech math shit with my phone to find out because I felt like it?
Tech is my life, and I don't even give a shit about these little things, man.
But yeah, so there's like super secret barcodes. The thing is, like, this is just... It's hipster porn. This book. I did not like this book. I didn't hate this book. It tried way too hard. Batgirl, again, my problem with the New 52 is that you're changing things that I like, and you're making them new, and I don't like them. And you have every right to do that if you're trying to get to a new audience. But here's my takeaways. First, it tries way too hard. Like, I literally, in one issue, had to deal with social media, sexting, raves, hipsters, coffee shops, and DJs.
Yeah, packing a whole lot of current popular culture into 22 fucking pages.
Oh, and they also, there's a lot of talk about people's sexuality in this. It's like, dude, this is a DC book. Like, for God's sake, do what you want. I don't give a fuck who fucks who doesn't fuck who. Your sexuality means literally nothing to me. I probably won't like you regardless of who you bang in the evening. But like, it just, when you try so hard to be like, oh, look how cool she is with this, it sticks out.
It really does. It's not organic to
No,
the characters or the story at all. It doesn't flow from what situations are presented to us. It's just tacked on to make it clear that this book is okay with all this stuff.
Right, and it was more subtle than some of the other ones. Like, oh, they're a couple, those two girls. Da 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 da. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm a gay man, but the same guy who hit on the girl hit on me, but he didn't really seem into guys. He's just doing it to get blackmail photo, and it's like, why couldn't he just be a friend? Like, this just seems forced, you know? But yeah, it was more organic than I've seen in other books trying for the same thing. So I'll give them the credit on that, but I don't care. My main issue with this book, other than the trying too hard, is that this is the worst Barbara Gordon ever.
Is it? Do you think, really, though?
Okay, she's failing her classes. She is forgetting drunken hookups.
Yeah.
She burnt down Black Canary's house and dojo.
Oh, I forgot about that part. Yeah.
Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
Everything I have ever read about Barbara Gordon made her out to be an on top of it together, cool woman.
Yes.
All right, now she's a 15-year-old moron. I don't like that. Like, I get you get to change things. I do. I don't have to like them. That is my prerogative as an irritable old fuck who's read comics for too long. And as an irritable old fuck who's read comics for too long, I don't like that.
But the other thing is, you noted all that, and that's all true, and it's all in the pages. It's all very clear. People are saying that she's identifiable. And I'm sure that there are people out there who forget drunken hookups, who fail classes, who burn down dojos. But why the fuck would you want to hang out with people like that?
They're more fun.
Are they burning down places?
Hot messes are always a good time, dude, till it ends up in your lap, and it always does. Hot messes are always more fun. Knowing that Commodore Wife doesn't ever listen to these, like, remember the drunken stripper that I fooled around with at New Year's Eve party? Like, that girl was a blast, as long as we never saw each other again.
Was I there?
Yes, Ken's New Year's Eve party.
Oh, yeah. Whoa, goddamn, what was that, 99?
Yeah, long time ago. My point being, awesome, as long as you never deal with them again. But once they enter your house and your life, shit gets broken. But my thing is...
including your life itself.
Exactly. I don't want to come... Like, I always worry when I point some of these things out that I'm going to come across as homophobic or misogynistic.
Yeah.
There's a tendency for a lot of comics written by men to make female characters uber successful and important, not give them legitimate flaws.
Yeah.
If you think back, and this is totally out of left field, but if you think back to Alien Legion, when they introduced that female character, she was a better soldier, a better shot, a better fighter, faster, stronger, better, good ass, everything. Like, you know, rather than write successfully flawed characters, if you're uncomfortable writing for women, you just tend to make them super women.
Perfect, yeah.
So Barbara Gordon could arguably have been considered a superwoman in the past.
Sure, because there was very little she did wrong.
Right, very small flaws, whatnot. But she was also a legitimately nice, decent person.
Yes.
So, to make them more relatable, but do I really want drunken hookups from any superhero, male or female?
Well, it's pretty funny with Hercules.
That's true, actually. That's valid. But Hercules is a mess.
He is a big mess. He is not anyone you should be looking to when trying to figure out your own life and saying, that's what I have to do.
Right. Like, and Hercules will tell you, I am a hot mess. Like, I am half an alcoholic, womanizing, manonizing, sheepanizing. Like, hot mess. Fine. You don't do what you're going to do. But yeah, so, I mean, because I am old, is there, like, do I want the girl to be a little better than the guy? Maybe. I'll give you that point. But I just felt like this didn't feel like Barbara Gordon to me at all.
It really didn't. And we haven't read her own book in, 30 issues.
I mean, this was more comparable to the 60s Batman family Barbara Gordon in fucking Uhura short skirts and like Daphne outfits from Scooby-Doo. Like, she was literally Daphne from Scooby-Doo in those things. Ha-cha-cha, Robin, baby. You're like, no.
I read a few things. She was in a couple of those detectives, and she was nothing but competent and bright and take charge. Like, I'm going to fix this crime right now.
So this doesn't even fit with the new 52 Barbara Gordon. Like, it just doesn't work for me. And like, last time that you were on this rant was Miss Marvel. I'm like, dude, look at it from another angle.
And that's what I'm trying to do.
But my point is, I don't think there's another angle where this is okay. Like, I was fine. Like, last time you're like, it doesn't speak to me. I'm like, you're looking at it, try looking at it this way. And you're like, dude, no, it's fucking good. Same thing happened when we talked about Black Widow, when we looked at it from another angle. There's not an angle where this over fucking pretentious hipster crap is a good idea. It's just, you know, you can look for any goddamn angle you want. It's all going to be like, no, you're, fake hipsters are annoying. Hipsters are pretty much annoying. Fake hipsters more so.
Yep. I'm with you on that. I remembered that instantly when I read that. I was like, all right, look, Miss Marvel only took one issue to get crazy cool. She's a character in the current world, in that age, in high school. This is all kind of shit that should appeal to her, but she doesn't go for it. You know, if she has to do something on her phone, she doesn't make a big fucking deal of it. It's
right.
Not, you know, it's not a whole panel showing the screen on her phone about, now she has to save the Starbucks, so she's gonna check in on Foursquare.
Right. See, that's that's the difference in the writing. Like, if they have a gay character in Miss Marvel, or if they have a technological thing.
I thought they did.
If they do, well, the point I'm trying to make is, they're not constantly pointing at it like, look what we have.
Yeah.
It's
exactly.
like, this is a person first. And that's what I like. When the Pied Piper turned out to be gay in Flash.
Right.
Like, it wasn't a big to-do other than Wally going, huh? Like, it was, but this book's just like, look,
I should have known, pipes.
We're hip. We're with it. Like, you're constantly pointing out how they're cool with things, which is the first sign that you're not. I've got black friends is not a sentence you should be hearing in this day and age, and this is the fucking stupid-ass coffee shop hipster equivalent of that.
Absolutely true. You always put things so much better than I will. And I hate you for it.
No, I know.
Sensation, now that we've blown 15 minutes on one book.
But it was a big book. Like,
it's a big, important book. And did you notice the last time in New 52 Batgirl #1, she had also just moved into somewhere and gotten a new roommate?
and she also had magic legs at that point, so I really didn't remember that as much. But
now, Sensation Comics #3. I really want to like this because I want to like a Wonder Woman book again. These are the internet first ones again, just like Legends of the Dark Knight was, right? So there's 3 stories in there. Wonder Woman as a rock star for absolutely no reason. She goes out and she hangs out with a couple of fans and pays for them because one of them's poor, which is awesome, by the way. I have been in that kid's situation before. Not with a celebrity, but I have definitely been around where I'll just have some water. Absolutely. So I know where that kid is coming from instantly, except for the rock star part. One of the fans, off to the side, which is the real point of the story, is he's not really a fan. He's a fanatic.
he just wants to do her.
And he gets kind of grabby and violent, and Diana just shuts him down like, you're an asshole, I'm going to beat you, this is not how people should be.
Bang me. I don't want to bang you. I'm going to shoot you with this shotgun. Like, I hated this book, dude. I hated it. Like, I don't know what it is about, like, let's write short stories for the internet, but it's like bad fan fiction.
Sometimes it
All
is.
3 of them. If you really break it down, this is like horrible fan fiction. You've got, hey, let's take Wonder Woman, make her a rock guitarist.
That is definitely fanfic.
Okay. Second one, let's put Catwoman together and a dragon. fanfic. And then the third one is, what if Gilbert Hernandez wrote Wonder Woman? This is what it'll be like. Fanfic. Boom, boom, boom. I could not wait to be done with all of the.
I'm not going to lie. I do not like Gilbert Hernandez's art.
I know.
At all.
Well, you bought 11 Rockets.
And I never finished it.
Really?
As a matter of fact, it was given away in one of the last boxes of Shudder.
Oh, I never even got the chance to look at it.
Sorry.
I'll live.
And it took me, I found that in, not even this year. Okay?
Last year.
It's been almost 2 years since I bought that, and I still haven't finished it. Because it was confusing and annoying and didn't make any kind of fucking sense. And honestly, the stuff that did make sense was not as high quality as I was led to believe it would be.
Well, you know what? Sometimes, like, when people talk about something as being amazing, it's embarrassing when you don't get it.
It is.
So, I haven't read it, so I can't speak on that. But yeah, like, all these felt like freaking fan fiction. And I'm like,
they really did. Now you put it like that, and it makes sense. I'm right with you.
So I hate this book now. Like, I was just waiting for these to end. I did like that the Catwoman and Wonder Woman story was kind of drawn like Darwin Cook, but then they look like giant, like anime kid versions of Darwin Cook, and I'm like, what? And like Fleece, and there's a dragon that protects the fleece. Well, if the dragon protects the fleece, then why is it fine with it sitting in a fucking museum?
That's a good question. Why? Yeah. Apparently they got permission, I guess.
Yeah, the in-house logic of all these things. And once again, I'm watching Wonder Woman fight a Batman villain, which I complained about the last goddamn time.
Yeah, people just can't leave things that belong in Batman books in Batman books.
How many Wonder Woman villains are there? Like, the gods and Cheetah? Is that it? Like, is that really
Dr.
come
Psycho.
to that?
Dr. Psycho.
Who the fuck is that the worm?
That little midget thing.
Oh, good Christ.
See, I had to remind you. And you know what? The only reason I remember fucking Dr. Psycho is because I had to fight his ass in the DC MMO a couple of years ago.
I should have played that game.
No, it was terrible. Now that we're re-beard, you ready to talk about Wonder Woman 35, which ends the 3-year arc that we have not been following for 2.5 years?
Dude, I didn't understand a goddamn thing
I really
about this.
didn't have much of a problem following this at all, because we knew that Zola was pregnant, so it follows that her baby would be born. We knew that the baby was going to be important because it's Zeus's. It's still important now, so these are no surprises, and it follows normally from what we had known. It really doesn't feel like we missed all that much, except Diana turning into the God of War herself, which allows her to beat the shit out of Poseidon's ass, so we don't know why Poseidon's mad at her.
Zola being Athena.
Yeah, but that was easy to follow. Why she is, it's still a mystery. But, I mean, it made it clear. It wasn't making us guess that she was Athena. So, the first of Zeus's illegitimates are trying to take over Olympus. Thank you very much. Not a camera, not a sporting event. The mountain. Olympus. So Wonder Woman stops him as Zola and Apollo fight some minion that I don't know. And somebody goes over a cliff, and somebody dies, but they don't die, and now everything's hunky-dory. I wanted to get this one in so that we could kind of be prepared in case there might be some setup for the new Finch run.
I suspect they'll go completely left field. I mean, it's not like DC cares anyway. It's like, fuck it, make her a robot. We don't care, do it.
Which would be fine, but I wanted to be certain. That's all.
I want to go back and look at these in graphic form and kind of read them as stories.
Oh yeah, I definitely put them in my mental list about which ones to pick up and follow up on, because I've started to soften a little bit on some of these things. Like, I want to go back and revisit Batwoman again.
Batwoman was great. It just was really slow. It was beautiful.
That's not
they had
how
real
I
points.
remember your impression of it.
No, it's true. It was very infuriating that it focused on areas that I didn't care about. It was but I always loved the art.
Yeah. Well, how could you not?
Right. But yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely stuff to revisit out there. And we're not always right. We've changed minds before.
Oh, sure.
Not anybody else's, but our own.
I was thinking about revisiting Catwoman as well. Because after that initial, I'm a Russian mobster making everybody hook for a living routine. Once that was over, I'm pretty sure something changed.
Well, I don't know, because I did buy that random one that we hated with the underground mob war thing. That was awful.
But was that awful because it was out of context, or was that awful on an absolute level?
I'm pretty sure it was awful on a pretty absolute level.
Right, so that's Wonder Woman. Superman 35 gives us the end of the fight with the Machinist.
Which was almost anticlimactic.
Yeah, it was kind of like, okay, you're punched and you give up and we're done. What? Really? Is that all? Although he's still making arms deals somewhere somehow. So who knows?
Well, he's a robot, you know. It's like fighting Machine Smith. He's just going to go somewhere else.
Yeah, there's that.
I quite like the Machinist, though.
Yeah, really?
Well, I mean, you know, when's the last time DC broke out a new villain that didn't blow dog?
He's an okay villain so far. He needs a little bit of improvement. He needs to be a tiny bit more menacing, you know?
Well, I mean, you know what?
He has to have a little gravitas to his threats.
He might be more menacing against Batman than he's going to be against Superman, but who the fuck?
Well, you know, there's a good point in that. Yeah, you're right. After the semi-final confrontation on a cargo ship, Ulysses gets the idea that man should not have weapons, because what we need now in 2014 is a rehash of a poorly done 1984 film featuring the same fucking character. And I think you all know that I'm talking about The Quest for Fucking Peace.
You know, I've never seen that.
I have seen it once in the fucking 80s. I have read so much about it, though, of people going, you know, 4 wasn't really so bad. And I'm thinking, no, it was really, you just told me why it wasn't bad. And in my brain, it's bad.
3 or 4 in years. 3 I've seen a couple times, because it used to be an HBO staple.
I rewatched 3 about 4 months ago.
And?
It did not age well, and it was not good then. So there's sometimes there's some cheesy nostalgia that lets you gloss over things and you just have fun with it. But no, this was just plain dookie. Plain dookie. Unadorned, yet steaming dookie.
That's not so good then.
So, yeah, it's, okay. But now there's a twist, however, in this take that they're doing with the let's disarm everybody. He doesn't think he can accomplish the disarming properly without being a tyrannical asshole. So he decides, look, I've got this other dimension. Why don't I restart this whole fucking society with 6 million people who don't want to deal with weapons and can be reasonable human beings, take them to this other dimension and make it awesome.
Well, I mean, it's an insanely stupid plan.
Is it though?
What are the 6 million people that want to come with me to your weird random dimension, crazy-haired blind guy? No, I'm not doing that. But what I really like, I like where they're going with this book. I'm not enthralled with the Ulysses character, but they're nailing certain things about Superman that I do like. First off, they are rebuilding Clark. They're setting the groundwork to bring Clark back to the Daily Planet where he fucking belongs.
Yep.
They're also building the feud aspect between Clark and Lois. Like, scooped again, which is beyond awesome.
Yeah, because if they're not gonna be married or at least or even dating, then that's how they should be. They should be competitors if they're not gonna be romantic.
If you're gonna kill the relationship and you still want Lois in the book, Clark has to work at the day. Like, you can't.
Yeah, because otherwise she's just another character.
Right. You know
she
what?
may as well be Cat Grant, for fuck's sake.
Right, and no one wants that. The other thing I really liked is there's a little known fact about Superman. It's not a fact unless you paid a lot of attention, but
no, don't do it. No, don't. No. Okay, good. Thank you.
Superman.
This guy on the screen was looking at a bunch of cutouts of this blonde chick smiling, and he was starting to unbuckle his belt, and I didn't need that.
But Superman
Yeah.
is a really crap fucking mentor. Like,
Mentor?
every
Yeah.
single time he takes somebody under his wing, unless they have the word super in their name.
Well, even then, sometimes Kara was like, "Go fuck yourself. I want to do it this way."
But the thing is, Superman is such a guy that sees the world in such a good way, in such a positive, and his life lessons tend, for the more insane, like say Ulysses, who doesn't sleep and takes things literally. You tell him like the world should be this way, and Ulysses just tries to go do it. It's
Yeah.
like, Supes, Batman wouldn't have fucking said that. Batman would be like, you seem like a fucking superpowered crazy person. Like, why don't you concentrate on giving everyone cookies? Bring them
While
all,
I develop a plan to shut you the fuck down.
you go bring bat cookies to fucking third world nations, and while you're doing that, I will put a lot of effort into figuring out what the fuck is wrong with you. Superman's like, well, you're super powered, you seem nice. Let's save the world. Awkward.
That might be our title. You seem nice. You're superpowered. Let's save the world.
But yeah, Superman always sees the good in everybody. He's always like, yay, we're going to be great together, la 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 la.
And he really doesn't do a good job explaining why he sees things like that to people.
Because he
sometimes.
does. He doesn't have to. It's ingrained.
Well,
you don't explain why you're a cynical prick. It's just natural to you.
But I'm not teaching someone to be a cynical prick.
Yes, you are.
Maybe by example.
Exactly.
I'm not deliberately trying to get other people to be that
Only
way.
because they don't come to you. If you open the door and there were a bunch of scared rabbits like, teach us your cynical prick ways, you'd be like, okay. But you don't know how. Like, it comes naturally. Like, I can't teach people to be a giant fucking flake. It's not like I'm like, okay, like the Muppets more. Like the Muppets more!
You giant Muppet.
It's like, do what I do. Is my method. It's
But he never. He keeps getting people who are largely blank slates, and he's trying to teach them by teaching. And these people don't have the decades of moral reinforcement in real situations that he got.
he doesn't have the. They don't have the parent. Like, you can't get Iowa fucking
Kansas.
morals, whatever. It's the same state. To
It really
all of-
is. Just a
to
few
all of our
miles
non-listeners
over.
in Iowa and Kansas, like, fuck off. Just conjoin. I don't even know if you're next to each other, but if you are, just fucking erase that little border.
They are.
Be Kiowa. Kansas, whatever you want. Like, I don't care who gets first billing, but you're the same goddamn state. Just grow more corn and shut
That's
the fuck
the one
up.
with the wheat, right?
In the end of the day, though, like, Superman comes from a strong moral background. He's an awesome human being.
Yeah, but he's had decades to learn that and apply
Well, not
it.
anymore.
No, when he was a kid.
But as a super-powered being, like, the new 52s fucked all that up, too. Any way you look at it, though, he's a good person. And that's the highlight of Superman, and which is why I was so pissed at the early new 52s when they're like, Superman, super dick.
No, forget it. Don't need that.
Like,
But what if, man? Well, then give me a fucking what if. Don't put it in the
don't
main
give me
book.
any more what ifs. Like, historically, those have been more bad than good. Although you did buy the other day one of the few really ones that you enjoyed of Superman,
A what if Superman?
Red Sun.
Oh, yes. That's Elseworlds, though. It's a fine line. No, it's not. It's
Not even a little.
It's a great big magic marker line. So, yeah, no. I don't know what else to tell you about that one.
Not much.
You got anything else you want to say?
No, I mean, it's a fun book, and, like, I'm looking forward to Superman. And all the Superman books are really on the upswing, which for DC books is rare right now.
How do we know that? We don't get action.
I'm
And
reading
it's still
reviews,
written by
stuff
Greg
like
Pak.
that. But it's supposed to be a good book right now.
Yeah.
You don't outside of the Hulk, you've never really followed Greg Pak with any excitement.
Well, I mean, I tried Batman Superman, and I thought it was silly and confusing. So, I mean...
Part of that was the Jay Lee art not helping you in the slightest. Which Superman is this? The one with the curly Q for hair. Done with you.
Fine, we'll go dig up some Action Comics and see what's happening with that.
Action.
Although
Action.
it may be irrelevant with this convergence thing going on. This entire show.
Oh, yes, you wanted to talk about convergence.
Well, save me again after all the books.
Okay.
Because we're
We
flowing.
will converge upon convergence.
Boom. So, Detective 35. Now, Bruce and Alfred are about to take a vacation for once, which is kind of interesting because it's also unheard of.
Yeah, weird.
A little bit. But, you know...
It's a different Bruce now.
You know that if he goes to Paris, he's just going to find the Jackal and, you know, bust his crime ring
No,
while
you know
he's
what?
there.
Actually, that's a good point. He used to take trips. It just always ended in crime, but there were always like business trips or vacations and stuff.
There was
So
always
it's not
crimes
really
to
as out
solve
of
when he
character
got there.
Right. It's
but-
like, oh, my God, the silver banshee is eating New York. I'm sorry, what?
The Jackal has again stolen the Picasso. Go fuck
Thank
yourself.
God Batman is here.
Oh.
And at the same time, his
Moi,
famous...
je lis Batman. So, a plane from Frankfurt crashes into the airport. And, you know, anything coming out of Germany is not necessarily going to be cool. Especially in books. Nobody brings up Germany just because they like the beer. There's always something sinister when something comes from Germany.
yeah, beer gardens.
Yeah, what? It crashes.
In a pretty goddamn good-looking panel.
It's a really good-looking panel, man.
I mean, I had a hard time not thinking about Airplane, but other than that,
I'm really happy with fucking Leon's.
Leon is a good artist. He's
Yeah.
been working a long time. I don't know if he's done Batman before.
Now, they did this kind of on the sly, man.
What, switching it up?
Changed the writer. Didn't tell nobody.
I love this book. I really did.
This was a great issue. I was very, very happy with it. He jumps right in. He knows, you know, he's the only one that's around that's going to be able to do anything. So he says, fuck the vacation. There's something to do.
Dude, it was,
His sense of duty does exactly what
it
it's
had a
supposed
fringe
to.
feel with the plane filled with dead people, but then
Right.
you brought in like terrorist virus things. So you've got modern takes, but also it's like your classic Batman. Like, here's a mystery. Let's solve it. How
Right.
did they die?
Yep.
When's the last time there was actually a mystery? I loved it. I was like, holy crap, I'm not hating a Batman book. Did God die? What the fuck? I will say, however, the one thing that did irk me about the book, and it's a tiny little thing, stop giving me fucking mall security guards who think they can talk back to Batman. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm airport security. You're a fucking super powered whatever. I'm in charge here.
Yeah, he totally is. Batman. Everybody defers to Batman, and if they don't, they've got a chip on their
But
shoulder.
now they don't. They all fucking say, like, no, Batman, I'm Harvey Bullock. I eat 45 donuts a day and I'll kick your ass. Shut the fuck up.
As an aside on the Bullock note,
Oh, no.
in the pre-crisis books that I'm reading right now in Detective, see, there's a crossover here. There's a point.
All right. Themes.
In the pre-52, I mean, like just like 83, 84, Bullock was actually off the force for corruption and had a change of heart when Gordon had a fucking coronary and was in the hospital for issue upon issue upon issue, and finally came to his good senses and tried to make things right. I had totally and 100% forgotten all about that.
Dude, Harvey Bullock has been, like, that's a roller coaster character. Like, if you were to, like, track his history, you'd be like, what the fuck? The only thing that's consistent is that you don't shave properly. There's your title. The only thing consistent about Harvey Bullock is that he doesn't shave properly.
And you know, when I watched the Tim Burton Batman, I saw that fat fuck who didn't shave, and I'm like, Bullock's on the screen! And they're like, no, it's Eckhart. I was like, who the fuck is Eckhart?
I can tell you who Eckhart is.
Who is Eckhart?
It's the same actor who played Porkins in Star Wars.
No, is it?
And the ill-fated Dr. Zarkov's assistant in Flash Gordon, bitch!
You see that, kids? You get your nerd history's worth on the Mean Geek, baby.
That is one famous portly man right there.
I say, you're full of shit, Knox. And you could quote me on that.
Think about that.
No, I'm all right. That's awesomeness. What isn't awesome is Batman 35. It's an incredibly disjointed issue. It was very difficult to follow. And didn't we go through this already in 2005 where he's decided that he's going to nullify everybody in the Justice League? It jumps right in. There's no build-up. There's no justification for any of this. It's just instant fight.
Yep. No, Batman versus the Justice League. I did like that, you know, he had armor and a plan. You know,
well,
Batman,
that's just him.
Yeah,
you know?
Batman has a plan. Like, that's good Batman, right? It's like, okay, what if I had to fight the Justice League? I also like that he built things differently. I can't beat Wonder Woman, so I need to trick her. The Flash is the most difficult for me to fight, except for fucking Superman.
Yeah.
Aquaman, that takes like 4 seconds. So I loved all the thought process that went into it. It's like, no, you know, the Flash would be ridiculously difficult.
Yeah, because you can't fucking catch him. You got to think 90 steps ahead because he's 89 steps ahead.
Right. So I loved little aspects of it. But yeah, and then the Joker being involved, I'm like,
Yeah.
and then you have that back. Kelly Jones returns to Batman in a truly creepy way. Now, is Kelly Jones your most dividing Batman artist?
Divisive, maybe?
Because I know that stylistically you have loved certain aspects and hated certain aspects. And I don't, you know, I use the word hated a lot, and you're always correcting me. But in this case, you really, like, every time he drew people's spines.
Yeah, which is, the spine thing is fucking creepy. He loves putting extruded spines on everything. I love the way he does a shadowed, long-eared, monstrously caped Batman. I adore that.
Yep.
The 900,000 little individual muscles in his torso, not quite so much.
Well, you weren't a big fan. I gave you a big stack of them, and you actually, we talked about it, not on a podcast, but a while back, and you mellowed on it a bit.
Well, you also got to remember that this was a huge chunk of the mid-90s.
Right.
And it was very difficult to get good Batman stories to go with good Batman art at the time.
And most of those stories were strong at that period.
So each of them were coloring the other.
Was Doug Mensch writing some of those?
Doug Mensch was writing a lot of them.
So he was using classic villains, he was doing neat things, and Kelly Jones
Right, but there was also a lot of Nightfall in there.
Yeah, which you are. But yeah, I know you changed your tune on him to a degree, but were you happy or sad to see him return?
I liked it. I was fine with it.
But yeah, so you got 5 insane freaks who are all Joker disciples because the Joker is the devil. It just, the whole issue felt kind of pretentious. Like, here's the Justice League. Batman's going to drop them all. Joker's somehow controlling the Justice League. Like, because the Joker's the guy who's going to pull that shit off. I did, however, my favorite thing in the whole issue, my favorite thing in the entire DC month was the moment where Batman's like, fuck, I hope he's off planet. Please be off. Boom! Superman. God damn it. Like, that made me so happy because in the past it's always like, I can drop Bruce.
I did get a minor kick out of that. You know, and I don't care what anybody says with this hours, if he has enough prep. You know what? Frank Miller gave us this one huge thing that was well justified, and people keep forgetting that Superman just went through a fucking nuclear explosion. They keep forgetting that.
Hard to pull off in this scenario. But yeah, I love the fact, like, when you
one punch and it's fucking over.
When
he doesn't even have to kill him.
You don't even have to connect, dude. If I miss you and I have Superman's strength, the wind resistance alone is gonna fly your fucking fat ass back into a wall, and you'll be sitting there as bat chunks.
I realize all he's got to do is give him a boop,
yeah, like,
right in the sternum, crack the sternum. I know.
Vision.
I've read Batman stories where he's had a cracked sternum, and he said, "I'll just pass out now and deal with it later. I don't care for this." So Supes would fucking win, okay?
You know what?
You were talking to the Batman guy here,
Could Batman,
and I tell you Supes would win.
Could Batman take Superman? Yes. Could he take him regularly or guarantee it? Fuck no. Like every time he goes up against Superman, Batman's thinking, okay, my odds are 1 in 437,000. All right, and he'll still do it because he's fucking Batman. He's an insane freak. He's like, no, I like those odds. I will fight you, Superman, with my incredibly poor odds and my Iron Man armor. We'll see how that goes.
Were you just repositioning, or do you want to go take a leak or something?
I'm totally taking a leak.
All right, be right back, kids. Now that you've evacuated,
Yay!
we can finish up with this Batman shit. That is one funky cat, man.
She's a sweetheart, right?
Acrobatic, too, but kind of dumb at points.
Oh, yeah. Dumb as a stump. It's the kitten equivalent of a Kardashian. It's like, I'm beautiful. I'll have a career.
So, Sinestro 6. We skipped 5 because I ain't buying those.
No, we didn't. We skipped Future's End 1. We read 5.
Oh. Okay. So how did we?
It felt like we because there's a cross. I'm gonna jump on you.
Yeah.
Because what we missed was in some sort of bullshit fucking crossover between God's Head.
That's right.
So the issue still made no sense, but we didn't actually miss an issue like we thought.
Okay.
The Future's End I bought today was the holographic magic cover.
And I'm glad you bought it because I wasn't going to.
But now you get to read it, so, you know.
Because I have a bullshit posturing quota for the month that I hadn't reached otherwise.
But, it was...
So, the thing I have is for some god-awful reason, the new gods now give a shit about the Lavender Corps or the Indigo Corps or the fucking Ultraviolet Corps, whatever the fuck they are. The compassionate knock-knock joke ones.
Indigo Tribe.
Indigo Tribe, yes. That's
I wanted to see how many options you gave before I corrected you. The correct answer is 4.
For some reason, the new female Orion, am I right with that?
I don't even remember that. Was it Orion? I just knew it was a chick that was kicking everybody's ass.
The new unidentified female new god has some kind of axe to grind with the Indigo Tribe. And Sinestro has this neat little plan where he's sick of some of the bullshit guys that are part of his core now. So he's going to take them into battle and let everybody else wipe them out for him.
And if they don't, he's just going to blow them up.
Which is fine. It's a very Sinestro thing.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. All I could think was, Blondie, you know what you are, a son of a... Yeah. Anytime I get a good the ugly reference out of a fucking Green Lantern comic, I'm okay with that.
No, I was very happy with it. Sinestro is fucking killing it. It is truly the one... I like Superman. I don't necessarily look forward to it.
Batman Detective just took a big step forward, but it's one fucking tiny step.
Yeah. Batgirl is out the fucking window. Don't know what's going to happen with Wonder Woman yet. So Sinestro is the one DC book I actively look forward to every month.
No, it's a shining star, and if you're not reading it, you should be. Cullen Bunn is one of the best writers in comics right now, consistently.
Yep, absolutely.
Dude, and it's amazing how many there are now. It really is.
Writing has taken another turn, man.
Dude, Bendis, Aaron, Bunn, Lesso, but Remender, fucking Rucka,
Zub,
Azzarello. Like, you can just run the gambit. And, like, there's 12 to 15 names of people. You're like, fuck, I'll read that. Brubaker. Like, and these are people that I will, now, not everyone will I buy for $4, but if you found a new Rucka book, like, you'll try almost anything by any of these guys.
Yep, absolutely. I will take a risk on any of the names that you just pulled out. And it's nice. I love it. Jim Zub, such good stuff. Even Mark Millar to degrees.
Well, I think Starlight has really salvaged Millar for you in a lot of ways.
I have to take the properties one by one now with him.
But after Starlight, you were willing to write him off, but after Starlight, you're willing to revisit him. So.
Yes. So, is there anything to add about Sinestro.
Well, I mean,
It's just
fucking
such a good book.
Stop having Green Lantern crossovers for like a week. Knock it off. Other than that, the main aspect was, I love the fact that, people talk smack to him. He shuts his own team down constantly.
Because he's a motherfucker in charge.
Sinestro, now talk about 4 or 5 steps ahead. Like Sinestro, Batman, that shit I want to see. There's 2 guys who fucking need to be fighting.
Yes, that's a good point. Nobody ever puts them together. Hardly any.
Because Batman can't win. And it looked bad. It's like, I'm ahead of you. Well, I've got a ring that guarantees that you're not, bitch. I'm an evil version of you, and I've got a power ring.
I'm Scarecrow with balls.
I don't need no goddamn mask. I make my own fear, bitch.
That's going to go into an excerpt. I make my own fear, bitch. Nah, amazing, amazing stuff. So we're going to switch some gears, seriously switched, into Astro City, number 16.
Now, I never got my copy of 15.
You didn't?
No. So I have no idea how the robot storyline ended. I mean, I have a guess because it was painfully obvious.
Oh, you know what? That's sitting on top of my computer for some reason.
Ah, okay.
I think I might have screwed up and bought only one and forgot and put it aside so that you could have it and then forgot about it.
I looked for one today.
It's there.
Okay.
It's there.
Good. But you said the story was kind of, it went exactly where we thought it was going to go.
Ah! That was not natural.
I don't know what happened.
The guy with the neck beard, I think it was him. Somebody's eating out Granny. and that guy just stumbled upon it. So he's looking for eye bleach right now. Much like me.
I'm so happy I didn't see that.
That's what you get for facing me, and I get facing the TV. It's fucked up. So in Astro City 16, Simon is a persecuted trans person. And I'm not going to bother trying to figure out pronouns. I'm just going to say trans person the whole time. Because it's my considered opinion that you cannot win trying to figure those out.
Fair enough. But here again is an example of this not being forced.
Yes, no, everything in here seemed natural. Everything flowed. Nothing was being spotlighted for the sake of hipness. This was a story about a guy who story about a person who happened to be this way.
Yeah, and you know what? It was a kind of a sweet story for, a person who became a supervillain and then reclaimed their dignity and had to rechange their own opinions. And that was a cool thing.
Yeah.
You had the transgender character.
Right.
Who was a villain because they had their own preconceived notions of what was right and wrong, and they were wrong about that as well.
And that's a person. And that is a fully fleshed out, figured out, developed character.
Yep. No, like this a lot. However,
I like that he threw this giant birthday party for himself and it's like, everybody I know, you're coming, we're going to have a good time, we're going to forget about all this weirdness, we're just going to be people together and party down.
Yeah, I like the Starbright character, like the jock who just wants to do well, and then the whole switching of the whole thing. It was a cool overall experience.
That guy knows what the fuck he's doing with a book. Busiek is a writer I will always trust.
Busiek,
I don't know.
really
I
doesn't
can't
misstep.
of what he would do that would make me say I'm not reading Busiek anymore.
If every time you look at Kurt Busiek, you see different nailed things, like Untold Tales of Spider-Man, phenomenal book.
Can't remember what happened in it, but I remember that it was great.
Marvels, phenomenal book.
Yes.
Fucking Astro City, phenomenal book.
Yes.
Goddamn Conan, phenomenal book.
Yeah.
Like, these are not like, oh, hey, let me just keep working in the same 4 feet. No, these are well divided.
Way, way different and all high quality. So, yeah. I mean, it was very easy to identify with almost every character in this book, in this issue.
Yeah, no, it was a slam dunk of a book.
Things from their perspectives and feel for them and be with them and just be damn entertained all throughout.
But the one thing I'll say is, like, once again, at the end, we jump to the damn weird purple time-traveling alien psycho character, and he shows clips, like, all you people are going to be pertinent together. Like, do that and be done with that, dude. Like, all set with that at this point.
Like, yeah, great. What are you building toward, dude? Because I kind of want to just have stories.
This is like Englehart Eternity stories at this point. It's like, no more of this. Take
Mr. Englehart.
Take your Captain Marveldom and go.
So, American Vampire has gotten all the way up to 5 so far.
Yay!
And it feels like it's kind of taking its time getting there.
Well, we switch off completely. The best thing about this issue by far is that it is a straight up horror feel to this book. Like,
yeah.
It is undoubtedly creepy. Indubitably. Is there an undoubtedly though? Or did I totally make that up?
I don't know how undoubtedly would fit.
I'm not sure how indubitably works, really. So, anyway, you look at it.
It comes from the root of dubious. So, indubitably means completely clear.
Ah, okay. But
you're the one with the English degree, motherfucker.
I drink, bitch. Fact of the matter is, you have the writer
after
trying
the show,
to track
you're
down
be
the
like,
mind.
I knew that. You know that,
Oh, totally.
right?
Did. No, you. I freely admit that I did not nail that one. You have this writer who's trying to track down this mine, and then you have a journal that he found of a miner who had a really bad time at said mine.
Right.
And everything goes horribly for everybody. It felt like a Lovecraftian fucked upness, like just dripping off the page.
Yeah, because you got the buried horrors that have been waiting for eternity, which is only 150 years, but whatever. And you got the guy who just wants to, figure out what happened with this mine, stumble across them, which is very Lovecraftian.
Oh yeah, dude. The king of the Lovecraft theory is to come across something, be vaguely intellectual, dive into it, and then have it go horribly awry.
Which is this issue in a nutshell.
No, it was a really good read. I enjoyed everything about it.
I'm not going to lie to you, however. A lot of that text in the handwriting, taking up swaths of the page, I found that I could skip over.
It was difficult to get through all
large
that.
portions of it, not all of it.
Anytime that you put printed journal pages on something, you're challenging my interest level.
Yes.
Like, I read books. I'm not a non-reader, but handwriting in comic books is a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it really is.
And then you got little sketches on the side, but it worked. I'm not going to ruin it for you, but things don't go well for anybody. It also has that classically well-done horror thing where you find people and they look normal till they're not.
Yeah.
It's, like you don't go down there and you like open a door and there's an untold horror. There's just another dude that shouldn't be there, and shit goes really south from that.
Let's get this one last book out of the way, and then we'll regroup.
What's left?
We'll knock out some extra stuff from the indie pile.
What's the last book?
The last book is the one I'm quitting, despite having bought all but the last 2.
Oh, you want to talk about bodies?
Well, not particularly, but it's here. Actually, all I said about it, what I wrote down, was the following. Makes even less sense than 1 through 3. I quit. I'm not even this. As snarky as that sounded, I am 100% literal about it. I don't know what's happening in here. I don't know why it's happening. I don't know why it's important to anything else, and I can't see how it might be foreshadowing anything that's to come.
No, it's you've got 4 storylines. The future one is completely incomprehensible.
Utterly. The slang makes it so difficult. The fact that nothing actually occurs in it makes it even worse.
Yep. No. The babble talk, the drug use, like just bizarre. You've got the original one in the 1800s, which reads like all the other 1800 books have been reading, just not quite as strong.
Right?
But at least you can follow that one. You have a detective who's dealing with his own sexuality in a case that has creepy overturns around the same time as Jack the Ripper.
Right.
Boom. That's understandable.
That's sufficient. It doesn't move forward in this issue.
I've just read Stronger.
But it's clear.
Victorian Undead, Sherlock Holmes versus the Undead.
Yeah.
I've read better versions of that, but that one at least makes sense. It also has the least appealing art style for me, which throws off the fact that I can understand it.
And there's the current one. The current one makes sense.
Well, no, then you've got the 40s one with the cop who's also a mob boss or something. Like, it's just bizarre.
Yeah, I can't follow that one either.
It doesn't remotely feel believable. Like, you have people bringing tribute and he's making them punch other criminals at the same time. Like,
yeah, and it was. Ugh. We got at least one more. Wait, which number was this?
This was
4. And I refused to buy 7, so we got 2 more of these things coming. And no, I don't. What the hell is happening on this screen? I know she just chopped up the one neckbeard guy. He gave her a ring while hanging upside down, covered in blood. Jesus Christ.
But then, then we go into the modern one where you've got the Arab girl detective with a partner that she kind of likes, flirts, but then beats up because no sex. It's just nothing is working. None of it is so strong.
At all.
The only one I like is a Victorian one, and again, I've just read better.
Yeah.
So all set with bodies.
Yeah,
and the overall connection of them hasn't moved forward at all, and it's what, 4?
It's 4. Something should have started to tie these things together besides the cadaver.
Yeah. And it hasn't.
And that's it for our DC/Vertigo episode.
Dun dun dun!
Because I gotta pee again. We will be back momentarily with an extra indie episode so that we don't miss anything up till the end of the year.
By the way, bless you fuckers, because when he says momentarily, we're actually talking about a week or 2 after this one, because we're going to record now. But this shit is not fucking co-joined for you people.
Right. But the thing is, after Thursday, I'm probably not going to see you till the 26th.
Who knows? I mean, this year is already going smoother than the last one. So,
well, that's a bonus.
And it's on the way home from work now.
Aha.
So, for you. So, you know.
Yeah, but you're also...
And she has a night job on Tuesday, so if I'm free then, like, we're well and clear in different ways.
Right.
But yeah, it could well be a couple months.
I'm just working from precedent.
Damn those precedents.
At any rate,
bless
kids...
you fuckers!
And away.
The Mean Geek is recorded live at the Reverend Mad Duck's apartment whenever the hell we can get to it. Find us on Facebook, Stitcher, Twitter under @TheMeanerGeek. Subscribe to us through RSS.
Or we can be located at our own site, www.themeangeek.com. And most importantly of all, you can find us as a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network.
Email us directly at themeanergeek@gmail.com.
Can I drink now?
You may.